Welcome to the Morban video showing you how to refurbish a DPWE Philips Dynalite lighting panel. These are very common out there in the field, and you can find that sometimes the panels will stop working, so certain buttons won't actually activate properly. So we've got a few sticky buttons here, and in order to repair it or refurbish it, you need a kit which consists of a cleaning strip and a new membrane insert. Now, in the single column switch there's one of these, and in the dual column, you can guess, there's two. In order to refurbish the switch, we need to gain access to its inside, so it does mean we have to take it off the network and out of situ. So before you do anything, it's best to actually take a photograph of the faceplate in situ before you even take the metal plate off or the faceplate off, because the switches are friction fit, and the only thing that holds those in is actually the friction itself and the switch plate. And when you lift the plate off, you can take the switches away, the keycaps away, and similarly when you take the membrane out from the other side, you can also lift the keycaps out. When they're a standard configuration like this, 1 to 4 and off, it's obvious where the keys go, but if you've got custom engraving, it might not be so obvious if you drop the keycaps all over the floor. So to that end, a photograph is good reference. So to gain access to the switch, we need to take the faceplate off, and then you can remove the two screws that would be holding it to the wall. Lift the switch away gently from the wall, and that will reveal the connector to the back, the Dynet connector, and that's probably wired, if you're lucky, in good quality Belden cable, which would be stranded, and if you're not so lucky, solid core Cat 5. Now, solid core Cat 5 is prone to breaking, so just be careful when you take it out so that you don't damage any connectors, and also when you put it back together that none break. Remove that Dynet connector and put that to one side, and take off the backing plate, which is simply just squeeze it by the two clips and lift that to one side. Then, using a screwdriver, just gently put the screwdriver underneath the PCB and rock it against the side frame of the switch, and that should unclip the PCB. Lift up the PCB and it should just drop away like that, leaving the membrane behind. Now, if you take the membrane out, in this instance you see it's come with the keycaps. What I prefer to do is just peel it away so that we leave the keycaps in position, so we know where we are. We'll put that down there, and this membrane can be disposed of. Now we need to take the PCB. There's a centre switch column here for this single column switch, and for a dual column they're orientated to the left and right of the PCB. You need to get your cleaning strip, remove the cleaning pad, and rub it up and down the centre of the column where the contacts are. You can do that to the left and to the right if it's a dual column panel. Give it a few seconds for the cleaning agent to actually dry off the PCB, and then you want to take your new membrane and reintroduce it to the PCB. Try not to pick the membrane up or touch its underside where the pads are, because they easily get contaminated with grease, etc., and that might stop their operation in future. The pad itself has got 5 locating lugs which locate in the 5 holes on the front here, and if you just pop those in there on the PCB, it should now be located. Then we need to introduce the PCB to the frame. If you look carefully, you can see this little arrangement of 4 dots, gold dots. This is actually the programming port and aligns with 4 holes on the front. Really useful feature of these switches, so that you can plug into the front and program in situ. So align those two up, put the PCB together, and I suggest that you rock the two towards the vertical, but not the actual switch bezel itself, because the keycaps will fall out. So just tip the PCB into there. Once it's in position, just finally click it home, pop the cover on, and just check that you've got good operation on the switch. You should feel that, and there's no obstructions. If you're happy with that, then reintroduce the Dynet network. Switch should power up, and the buttons hopefully have now restored functionality. This, of course, is one route. The official route is to replace the switch in full with a new one, and that, of course, gives the advantage for the client that they have a full manufacturer's warranty from the moment you replace it. But obviously our solution is quicker and more cost effective. Thank you very much.